Absolutely. Here's a chart. Condensed, natural-flowing, cinematic American retelling of your HOA Grandpa Tractor Lake story. 1,200 to 1,350 words. Hook from the start, real-life dialogue. An extra twist, a smooth arc, and a strong open-ended finish that invites comments. You ever wake up and realize the world's just daring you to lose your mind? That was me staring out across our rye field at 6 in the morning, the hanging so thick you could barely see the barn, except for one thing. Bright as a sore thumb, a brand new white F-250 parked dead center in the field, right where Grandpa's winter rye was just starting to show. And I'm telling you, nothing says bad idea like leaving an HOA truck where a stubborn old farmer can see it before his first coffee. You know what I mean. I watched Grandpa from the porch, old army cap camo jacket, hands on hips, that look he gets when he's sizing up a problem that needs fixing. Not a word, just a quiet mutter. Then he turns and disappears into the barn. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he'll call the HOA, maybe leave a note. Not Grandpa. He fires up the... John Deere grabs the heavy chain off the wall, and I swear I could feel the ground shake when he drove out. Next thing I know, he's got the truck hooked up, and he's dragging that F-250 bouncing, lurching mud, flying straight toward Willow Pond at the edge of the property. No hesitation, just slow, stubborn determination. There's a moment right before the splash when it's almost quiet, like the whole county's holding its breath, and then... Splash, that truck hits the water so hard, a flock of ducks takes off screaming. Grandpa parks the tractor, wipes his hands on his jeans, and walks back to the house cool as a cucumber, while that truck bobs up and down like a confused whale. At breakfast, he barely looks up from his toast. "Shouldn't leave your problems in another man's field," he says, as if he just ran off a raccoon. Yeah, that happened. By noon, half the valley had seen Matt's drone video of the splash, complete with slow motion and dramatic music. Suddenly, Pond Justice is trending, and my phone's blowing up with messages from old high school friends, all asking if my grandpa really did it. Meanwhile, the HOA head, Marcia Delmont, rolls up in a navy blue suit and heels that don't belong anywhere near mud. She's got 2 board members in tow and a scowl that could curdle milk. "This is sabotage," she snaps, pacing the pond bank like she's expecting the truck to float out if she just yells loud enough. Grandpa's sitting on a folding chair sipping root beer, not even pretending to care. "Didn't see your name on the field," he says, deadpan. Marcia turns so red, you'd think she'd combust. The sheriff shows up, takes one look at the scene, and just shakes his head. "Anyone dead?" he asks. "Nope." "Then y'all can figure it out." He leaves before Marcia can even finish her rant. Meanwhile, the crowd's doubled, and someone's already selling "I Break for Earl" t-shirts. The whole thing turns into a block party, people bringing donuts, lawn chairs, laughing so hard, a couple folks nearly fall in the pond. But the HOA isn't done. The next week, our mailbox is stuffed with warnings, fines for unapproved fence color, a letter about our rooster being excessively vocal, even a threat to lien the property over improper scarecrow placement. Grandpa starts tacking the notices to the barn wall, says he's making his own comedy club. Me, I'm starting to worry, especially when a shiny black SUV shows up, and 2 guys in suits get out consultants from the new luxury development over the ridge. They offer double the land value for just a little corner, all smiles and business cards. But Grandpa doesn't even let them finish. "If you're lost, the main road's that way," he says and turns his back. The men leave, but I catch the way one of them looks back like this isn't over, and it isn't. Because that same night, someone breaks into the barn. Doesn't take anything, just scatters a box of old papers. Family deeds, maps, letters across the floor. It's a warning plain as day. Grandpa just locks the door. Sits on the porch and sips his coffee, but I can tell he's rattled. It's not about the truck anymore. It's about the land, the family. The old stories people like Marcia think they can bury under bylaws and fine print. The town meeting's a circus. Marcia tries to look dignified at the podium, waving color wheels and quoting bylaws, but nobody's listening. Old Mr. Rodriguez, who got fined for wind chime density, stands up and starts a slow clap. Carol from the antique store pulls out a doormat labeled "Too Sassy for HOA." It's part comedy show, part rebellion. But then Marcia plays her ace. She's hired an investigator. Doug Blander, who used to be security at the mall and thinks he's on a true crime podcast. Doug struts in, starts waving around a metal detector, and declares he's looking for evidence. The crowd can barely keep it together. Then, right in the middle of Doug's performance, he actually finds something, a rusted metal box buried under the old willow. Inside are land documents from the 70s, signed by Grandpa's dad and Marcia's father, promising the field would never be developed, never split for profit. The whole room goes silent. Marcia looks like she swallowed a lemon. Grandpa just shrugs. "Guess some folks don't know when to quit," he says. And for the first time, I see the whole town turn his way. From there, it's all-out war. Marcia and her crew go into overdrive. More fines, more threats even showing up at our door to inspect the barn. But now the neighbors are with us. Folks start telling their own stories about HOA threats fines for things like rustic mailbox rebellion or non-compliant lawn flamingos. People are done being pushed around. Then comes the twist. Nobody saw coming. Steve Harmon, one of the junior board members, shows up at our door late one night looking like he hasn't slept in days. He hands Grandpa a shoebox full of internal emails, proof the HOA's been scheming to force us off the land for a new development called Project Green Sweep. There it is in black and white, names, numbers, backroom deals. Steve says I joined to keep people from letting their dogs poop on my yard, not to ruin families. He quits on the spot. The lawsuit hits a week later. HOA claims damages trespassing emotional distress. Courtrooms packed Marcia with her lawyer Grandpa in his one good blazer, the judge who arrested him for driving his mower through Dairy Queen in '83. Marcia's lawyer cries about community values and civic order. But then we show the dash cam footage caught by Matt before the truck took its swim of Marcia's board, plotting to pressure Grandpa until he caved. Steve testifies, tells the truth. The jury takes all of an hour. Case dismissed. The judge even rules the old agreement is binding. Our land stays ours. Marcia gets the boot. The town throws a party in the barn. Strings up lights, plays country music. Grandpa stands in the doorway sipping root beer, and for the first time in months, he looks truly at peace. Kids run around with cardboard tractors, neighbors bring pies, and someone puts up a new sign by the Pond Earl splash zone. A month later, Grandpa slows down for good. He hands me the barn keys, says, "Time you started opening this place up in the mornings." When he passes, we bury him by the pond, under a simple stone. Still plowing. Every spring folks come out, share stories, and someone always brings up the truck, the splash, the day. A stubborn old man reminded a whole town what it means to stand your ground. So let me ask, was Grandpa a hero? Or did he go too far? Have you ever had to fight for what's right, even when the rules said otherwise? Drop your thoughts below. Whose side are you on, the rule makers or the rule breakers? Because sometimes you just gotta drag the truck in the pond and see who's willing to get wet.